to clear. Got it.
Okay, we're gonna give people a little bit of time. I know we said that we will start, but we're gonna go back first and then we'll move to the second meeting. For those who were not here the last time we met. Hello, it doesn't have a name on there yet, but how are you?
I think the one that says iPhone is Gracie, right? And I think, did we get another person? Oh yeah, there's again, George's iPad.
Okay. And I think George iPad is. Okay, thank you. Teresa, hello, how are you? Welcome.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce myself for those. This is their first time meeting me, and I have my coordinator who's here is Christina. I am Inger. I am the program coordinator for Family to Family Network, and I'll be taking you guys through this small community group. We have two ways that you can attend. You can attend in person if you would like, and then also we have the virtual.
Right.
So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Christina, I'm gonna go ahead and share my
Go ahead.
and we're gonna go back a little bit first.
Just a little bit because it's been a few weeks.
Okay, and some of the things we talked about last week, well, I say last week, a couple of weeks ago, we just looked at the history and we talked about planning a good life. And the core, all people have the right to live, love, work, play, and pursue their own life aspirations. Okay, and I'm gonna take you guys to, and then the main thing that we are focusing on, we're working with the person that has the disability. They are the person centered. They are the person that we are supporting, and their needs are, they want to be able to express their needs, and they should be included in the community. And anytime you have a meeting with them, they should always be there. And I'm going to give you some examples when we talk about that. We talked about the life trajectory worksheet. And this is just a sample. When you look at the worksheet, it's telling you what is his vision. He wants to, and this is an example of how we filled this out. And also, I want to remind you guys, if you have not received any of the forms, please let us know in the comments section, and we will send that information out to you. We'll mail it to you, or it can be email. You can let us know what your choice is and how you receive it. And then again, what we're going to do is, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment box, and then we'll stop a little bit between each slide and we'll talk about answer any questions that you may have. You can go ahead and raise your hand, and or you can just unmute yourself and just ask the question, because you are a part of this community, and we want you to be able to, if you have any questions, because somebody may have the same question, they're just afraid to ask. And if you don't want to ask with the group, you are certainly welcome to go ahead and put it in the comment and we'll answer it, or you can email Christina or I, and we will definitely get back with you. Okay, so when you talk about the trajectory worksheet, we're talking about what is some of this, the person-centered, what do they want to have? Do they want to complete college? They want a good job. They want to own their own tea shop. They may want to be debt free, as we all want to be. And so then we look at, okay, what are some things that's important to, and versus what's important for. So the matter is the individual, as we support them, we need to know what's going to be important for them, and then what is going to be some of the needs and wants that they may have. So the first one, this is just an example. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. What is important to the individual? For example, we have Nicholas likes to drive his car to work. So for Nicholas to be able to do that, he's going to have insurance. And then we had another example where we said what this individual was important to them. CJ wants to be a gamer full time. So we say, okay, what is CJ going to need in order to obtain that? He's going to need a full-time job to ensure that he can pay his bills. So if that gamer job is not going to work out for him, or being online all day and it doesn't give him the income to pay his bills, then that's something he's going to have to work on. That's going to be important for him to find a job that's going to support him. And then the last one we have, Julie likes to watch CNN all day. But we also know what's important for Julie is that she would take her medicine, her MS medicine every morning before she eats her breakfast or before she goes to CNN. So that would be important. That's something important for her. And then the next slide, we talked about in order to have a balanced life, you must look at all of these areas: mental, physical, professional, and these are all the things you're going to need. If you need support, you want to be supported in all of this, because you have to have a balanced life in order to have a good life, because you can't focus on all the bad things in life. You have to focus on, am I going to get my materials? And am I going to be emotionally supported? Spiritual, if I need to if that's something that helps me throughout my day or week or month, I want to be able to say, go to church, or, talk to someone on the phone, do Bible study virtually. It just depends on what is going to make that person have a good life. And I think here's the one I really wanted to talk about. This is one of the forms we use, and some of you may already have that form. It's mapping family goals. And this is just a form to say who's going to be, if we're going to plan, because it's going to take all of you guys, and we'll be talking about this in one of our monthly sessions. You guys may also have an opportunity to go every month. We have a session where we meet with Brian and other presenters to talk about networking and I can't think concerning,
yes, we talk about
help me out.
insurance planning. We talk about anything that they focus a little bit in financial aspects of planning the future. So that's what we're, but for the next ones that we're having, we're going to focus in other things like Medicaid waivers, anything that you might need that is not exactly just financial.
Yes. And so please go onto our website and please look at what is important to you and go onto the website and register for any of the classes. Now, and this mapping the family roles is also going to be like networking. So you need to know who's going to be in your group, who's going to be supporting the person that you're supporting in the event that you're no longer able to do it, or you may pass away, and you need to know who's going to take on those roles, who knows more about that church, that person, and who's going to be willing to, if it may be an adult or a child that may need to have a doctor's appointment, who's going to keep up with that and make sure that that person is able to get to his appointments. And anything that they have as far as life is what they want to do. Like we said, if they want to go to church, we need to make sure that we have somebody that's going to support them and make sure that they're receiving what they need. If they like to go on family trips, or say they want to go on a trip, they go every month to a different location. So we just want to know who's going to take that responsibility. So this is a great form, and you guys will receive it in the mail if you haven't already received it. Okay, so are there any questions about the forms, about some of the things that we've talked about so far? No? Okay, so I'm going to move into the next stage. This is the second community group meeting that we're having, and I want to welcome everybody who's here. And if you have just joined us, I am Inger, and we have Christina as well, and I think we have another co-worker, Judy, who's on with us. So just remember, don't be shy, ask the questions if you need to ask the question, and they will get answered, or you can email us, or just raise your hand and It's an open session. I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna start with, we're talking about the life trajectories, and it's creating a good life. And this is, so we're going to talk about the past first. And again, we're right here talking about the person-centered. And you see the little young man, you can say whatever his disability, but just remember, he's saying, I'm Adam, I'm not my disability. So, because so many people will say, oh, you know, that child with whatever disability to have, but Adam has a name. And so you want to respect that. And so many times today, individuals with IDDs and their parents and families embrace the ideal that people with disabilities have skills, dreams, and feelings like everyone else and belong with their families. You know, for the past, they used to think about they couldn't live with their family. They had to be in a facility that would be able to help them. But we're going to where families are taking care of an adult or a child with a disability. We want them to be out in the community. We want them to be a part of some of the things like every other child is a part of it. So we welcome that. So we're looking at integrating and inclusion. That is so important. People think that we need to include a child in everything. Now they have them, I don't know if some of you guys will remember when a child had a disability, they wouldn't be in the same classroom with their peers. They would be in another classroom, but now they're not doing that anymore. They're setting and they're included in everything that goes on in the classroom. Like they may have an assistant there, assistant teacher there to help them, but they are with their peers and they're experiencing and hearing the same thing that any child in a classroom would hear. So, and it's important to know that these children, you know, with their disabilities, they're still able to go to college, they are able to get married and raise a family. So we want to just embrace this shift, meaning thinking differently about what it means to support an individual with disabilities and their family. So just remember when you talk about it, always talk about that person with the disability. That's who we are supporting. He is upfront. He is able to make his own decisions with a little help and support from the family, from the friends, from the community. Okay, now we're going to talk about life stages. Here's some stages. I'll go through them with you guys briefly, and so you'll know where we are. And I'm not sure where everyone is as far as do they have an infant, a school-age child, and then you go off to adulthood, and then we go to aging. So those are when we talk about life stages, we'll be talking about those stages. Because mainly when we really want to talk about the ages when they're in school age, where the years from kindergarten through middle school and then on to high school, and then next coming to becoming an adult. There are some things that are going to really change when they become an adult. And some of you guys may have already experienced that because you have older children that you're caring for. And then we're going to talk about life trajectories. And I think I have a form for that, but let's talk about the trajectory of life experiences. And it just says trajectory connects a series of events and actions and development. So what that really means is that everything that you do at the beginning, it's going to affect your middle, and then it's going to affect your ending. So we have to be sure, we have to look at what do we want to have as a good life. So we go through that stage and go to that direction. If we want our children to have a good life and go to college, we need to plan for that. And that's what we have when we talk about financially. So we look at being prepared for that. What are you going to do for that? How are you going to support that son or daughter that wants to go off to college? How are you going to make sure that they're able to participate with support? And so we definitely need to look at that and plan that out. And that starts at the beginning of infancy. If you know that you want your child to be successful, you have to plan successfully. Okay, and so trajectory for exploring. It means to problem solve and plan. And again, we talk about planning is the most important thing, is to plan ahead. And you have to look at whatever you want to be. If your daughter says to me, I want to be a doctor when I grow up, there is no limit to that. It doesn't say because you have a disability that you cannot do that, but you can do it with support. So as a parent, as a caregiver, as a friend, it's always important to know what they want to do and work them toward their goals. And it always is very important. You are important to them and they are important to you, but always support them in including them in whatever decision that has to make if it's going to involve their lives. So we have, okay, we have another form. I don't know why it's not showing up. Okay, there. No, sorry, guys. Let me go back. Oh, oops. Okay. Just a little, sorry. This is supposed to be a worksheet, but it's not coming up. Okay, so we're going to look at the support star. We talked about it in our last class. We were talking about what it is you can set a goal where it's okay, this is what I have right now, and this is what I want for the future. But this is another one to look at the personal strengths and assets that they already have. And this is a form, technology. Are they going to need that? With their relationships, how are we going to get them to interact with others? So we have to take them places that you can, because it's very important socially to be involved and be able to have other conversations outside of the home, outside of school. So we want to get them involved in any community events that they may have. And then when we start to talk about the community base, what's going to be important to them, what's in the community that they can get involved in. And let's say they may want to have a job. So who do we talk to? Reaching out to whatever network that we can show them that they're able and to work in the community and be amongst their peers again. It's so important that we make them be able to interact and be social with others. So when you use this form, we'll look at this form as, okay, how can I problem solve? Exploring and mapping. We talked about mapping when we showed you the other form that said mapping. That's mapping out available support. If they say you're going to need a waiver, or if you're going to be filling out the SSI form, those are things of how you're going to support them financially. So we all need to talk about that. And then also understanding the wants and needs and identifying any gaps in between. Say if the child is 12, we know that they're in middle school, they're getting ready to go. So how do we move them forward positively through those steps of becoming now a high school student? So it's very important that we don't forget those gaps in between, and we work toward the positive, making sure that they have the same needs that they had. They may change because they're now a little bit older. So we need to look at how can we help them be successful in their next stage. And then also, we also have, it is very important as a group, as a family, as a community worker or a caregiver, that you all guys work together, friends, that you organize and you think out what is going to be the plan for the future. And so, and then also creating a network. How many of you have a network that you're working with? That means friends, families. Who are you working with? Are you working with your friends? Are you working just with the family? Do you get together on Sundays and talk about, you know, the future and how you're going to be successful for the person that with the disability? So that's the next thing that we need to work on. And we will be sending you the support star so you can work on that. And if you have any questions or concerns, certainly don't hesitate to give us a call to fill out that form. It's just going to help you in your planning. You can set aside and talk about what technologies they have, what they don't have, what they're going to need for the future. Because in middle school, you may not need a computer, but as you go off to high school or even college, it's important that you keep up with the technology. And then also, what programs are you going to be eligible for when you get to high school, when you get to college. So it's really important that you start looking for that and you don't leave any of those gaps as we were talking about, that you just sit down and organize with that group and make sure everybody's on the same page and making sure that the person with the disability has a good life. And that's the only way, is to be proactive and making sure that things happen when they need to happen. Now, I'm not sure if we have anybody on the line that has they either have been through an ARD or they have also been through working on an IEP. So I'm going to give you some information. If you're working toward that and you have a young child, you want to go ahead and start thinking about that. And it's the ARD is just a meeting that you have with the teachers and the staff in the school that's going to be supporting them in their educational needs. And sometimes you'll see it spelled out as an individualized educational program.
Inger, may
Yes.
I just say, or interrupt you a little bit? Sorry,
Yes.
I do have the mapping tool, but
Okay.
it doesn't have what you wrote on it. Would you like me to share it?
Sure, you can share it.
Okay, just to put it on the screen.
Let me take.
Mhm.
Yeah, just put it on the screen and you can. I'll stop sharing.
All right, let me just make sure I found it. I had it open already. Yes. Okay. I want to be sharing just so they can see it, because something happened to your format that it wasn't
You
showing.
saw it too.
Yeah.
But we're gonna work on it.
That's how it's that's how this is. Okay, share.
So
can you see
there
it
you
there?
go. Yes,
Okay,
I can see it.
Thanks.
Oh, we had that one. We didn't have the other trajectory where it talks about the past, the present. That's the one we needed to. That's the one I was working on.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look for it so people can see.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Let me see if I can go back in. Sorry, guys, we're gonna go back to where we started. Okay.
Are there any questions maybe of what?
Y'all have any questions? Because when we were talking about how can you use the STAR support, here's one idea where you can use, and the life trajectory worksheet. You can use it here. It's important when you get ready to go to a meeting. These are some tips that you'll need. Evaluations, you'll need to know and have that initial evaluation when you're meeting with them, or make sure that's been done. Before the meeting, you need to gather all information, any drafts, copies, evaluation that you may have, prevent letters of academic, and then and always it's important, if you don't understand something that they're talking about, it's okay to ask the question, because you want to know and you want to be fully understanding what they're saying to you. So if you see that something is not right for your child and he has moved past that and he needs to move forward with something else, it's important that you speak with them and let them know. And because it's about your child. You are the advocate for your child. And if you don't ask the question, then they may not get what they need and the support they need. So it's really important to bring all documents, make sure anytime that when you're working with them that you get written documents that they're supposed to give you at the end of the meeting, and it'll tell you what you talked about. So if you go home and it's okay and you say, oh, you know what, they talked about this, I'm not sure about that, reach out to the person and let them know that I didn't understand this, I need more information on this. And or you see that's something that's been done and that you see them saying that he's not capable of doing, that you say to them, I know he's capable of doing this. Here's the documents that I got from, say you moved to a new school district, that they wrote out that he was successful in completing this task. So just remember, you are the advocate, and the child will only speak and sign the ARD documents after he turns 18. So if you want to make sure that he's going to be successful, listen, answer question, give feedback, if you don't understand, make sure that before you leave that meeting that you let them know that you don't understand anything that they have said that day. And you can stop them if they start to talk about anything. You say, wait, I don't understand. It's okay to stop and say, I don't understand, because you want to make sure you understand everything that's going to be afforded to your child in his education, his or her education. And then that way you'll be able to create a vision for your child, and you'll know the goals that they have set for him to make sure that he has met those goals and he's moving on to other goals. Okay, 7 questions to ask during AR. That would be, which goals are going to be the main focus in this meeting for my child? Then what can we do at home to work on these goals? What progress we're looking for? How would you proceed? And how is this progress going to be measured? You want to know that. Will it be using a test, observation, or anything else? You want to have some information about that, so you'll know if you come in and they're saying to you they didn't see it, or on the test he didn't do what they thought where he was in his education, that he didn't meet those goals. You want to make sure that you know anyway that they're going to show the progress. And what strengths do I need to see in my child? What are ways that I can encourage my child at home? And we used to say in Head Start, where I came from, we always told the parents they are the first teachers. So anything you want to have the information that the teacher is sharing with you, that you can encourage him at home and continue his learning while he's at home, because that is so important. So if he's moving on and you see the progress and he's able to do that, whatever the goal is, that you can reach out to the teacher and say, hey, I think my child has met that goal. Can we have another Art to talk about his IEP and maybe changing and supporting him on moving on to a goal that will be successful for him for his next stage. So it's really important that you do that as well. And then also, will my teachers be given assistance and resources? You want to know if your child may need another teacher in the classroom, because as you know, some of the HISDs, they do have a large number of children in the classroom. And so that teacher may not be able to focus on one child, but to have someone else there. And if you think that your child needs someone to assist him and work with him in the classroom, don't be afraid to ask for that. It's okay. If your child has a problem with writing, ask for tools to help him to write with, and make sure that the teacher knows and she's working with you and communicating with you. And it's so important as a parent that you support your child by advocating for them and also supporting the teacher as well, because sometimes teachers can get overwhelmed and things can be missed. So ask and communicate with your teacher on a daily basis. Even if you're just coming in and say, can we have a meeting for a few minutes, or when will you be open for me to talk with you? Don't forget that you as a teacher, as a parent, and then the teacher in the classroom, you need to work hand in hand. It's very important. So will bus drivers and other individuals who will be in contact with my child know and understand his needs? It's very important that you speak with transportation and you make sure that there may be a second driver or what have you, or whatever the tools that your child needs to be successful getting on and off the bus. It's important that you ask that, and all of that should be talked about, should be talked about in your art meeting. What do I need to contact? Who do I need to contact later if I have questions? And there again, you're going to call the school and you're going to let them know that you attended an art today or tomorrow, or and you have some questions, and they will forward you to the person that will be able to assist you. And just know that you can repeat and ask any until you get clear clarification of what is needed for your child and how to support your child. It's okay to ask the same question until you understand. Then that means that you're able to see that he's meeting those goals. So it's okay to ask the question. They don't mind. Okay, then so after you have the ARDS meeting, these are some of the things. Just remember, I always say you are your child's advocate. So if haven't had an evaluation in several years, you may want to speak with the IEP team and let them know he's had some changes, because remember, you're at home, supporting him at home, and then the teacher is supporting him in the classroom. So if you see of any changes, it's okay to, and that's when the communication between the teacher and the parent and then the IEP team will get together and we'll look at maybe reevaluating him. So it's okay for you to ask questions, and just remember, you're the advocate for your child. I can't say it enough. So I'm going to show you a video really quick, and it just shows you it tells you some things about after you've had the ARD meeting, what you to expect. Can everybody hear it?
It's very low, the volume.
I don't hear it.
Yeah, no.
Let me see if I can.
That happens with the videos. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can turn it up a little bit. I can't hear you.
Yeah, it's can't hear it.
Maybe if you go
Okay.
to the YouTube and present it.
I may have to just send it to you guys, but do
That
we have
happens
any?
with the videos a lot.
Yeah. Okay, someone asked a question.
I think Tammy just was saying that she wasn't hearing it, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I can share with you, Tammy, okay?
Yes, we have a lot of things to email. all of you.
Yes, we do.
Any other
don't-
questions before we get to the next, from any other parents? No? Okay.
No? Okay. So what a parent should know about life transitions. This is really important because this is where you get most of, and this says transitions happen many times in your child's life. You go from infancy on to elementary, then we're right there at middle school, and what happens? They've grown up, they're getting ready to turn 18. And this is where you want to look at that. So then when it comes to the IEP, however transitions addresses a specific life stage and puts a plan in place for how your child will make the move. So I'll tell you some examples of transitions. Say when a child is an infant, he moves on to, he's now 12 months, he's moving on, he's 1. So now he's going to move to the next stage. And so where at 1, he was taking bottles, having a pacifier. So when you go to the next stage, okay, now he needs to learn how to feed himself. Now he's not drinking out of sippy cup anymore. He's looking at, a cup, an adult cup, where he has to maneuver how to use that and not to spill everything. So that's one of the transitions that you may have. But for most of us, we see the transition mostly in high school. So it's really important as they become a young adult that what are they going to do after they finish high school? Some of us, we are so focused on taking care of them at that moment that we never look forward to thinking, okay, what am I going to do when he gets out of school? Is he going to get a job? Is he going to Is he going to go to college, a vocational school, any other post-secondary training? What supports do we need for our child? So how can we support them? And that's when we should look at some of the things in the community that may support them as far as getting a job, going to college. It's important that we are there to support them. And whether your child is in preschool, junior high, high school, it is it's never too late and never too early to start planning. But if you start planning at infancy, when you get to high school, everything is planned out. So again, when you use some of our tools, you will see that you can plan that out for what's going to happen, and you can set with your network of friends, family, community workers, caregivers, and you can say, okay, we don't see that he's probably not going to go to college, but what else does he see for his future? But as I always say, anybody can go to college. There is so much support out there for children today. So I would, if that's something that he's interested in, or I'll keep saying he because I have 2 boys. And so I had to look at them as going back. I wanted them to go to college. And we always have things that we want to see our children do. But of course, in reality, we have to think about what's important to him, to that centered person that we're working with. How can we support them to be successful and to have a good life? And that's why we're attending some of these trainings, to just remember that person-centered is most important. Does anyone have any questions about some of the transitions that we spoke of? No? So, okay. So we're going to move into your child is now an adult. What do you do? What happens? What are some of the goals we want to see that we've been working on from kindergarten to middle school into high school, and we're finally there. And we're talking about now my child has rights. He has a right to make his own decisions, but we can be there to support them. And if we see that my child is now 18, and is he going to be able to make certain concerns and decisions on his own? Will he need a legal guardian to be there to help him? And then when they turn 18, they have a right to come to the IEPs, and they get to sign on it and speak to what they see will be best for their future, with probably guidance from you as the parent, as the advocate for your child. And again, it says, do I need a legal guardian to help me with some of the changes that's going to happen in my life? How I'm going to probably pay for college, how am I going to get to that new job that I've applied and I've been accepted? How am I going to do that? So they may not need your help in everything that they do and every decision that they make, but if you know, as a parent, as a caregiver, as a community support, or anyone that is in that group, in that network, that is helping to this child to get a good life. I keep saying child, but now he's an adult. She's an adult at 18. We need to remember that, give them some space and let them kind of work on make some of the decisions that they would like. But if you know that they're going to need that support, be there for them. So we say, in this case, maybe your parents could help you with opening a bank account. They can become a co-signer for all the checks. And that doesn't mean that they don't have control, but then they're there, and you're, as a parent, there to support them, just to ensure that they get what they need. And say if a child wanted to apply for a loan, you as a parent or case manager can help them to complete the loan, and then they may have support of what to do once they receive that loan. And then sometimes people need just a short time, a period, where they're returned to making their own decisions, but you're still there to guide them. And then we also have what is called a temporary medical guardianship. That may be something, allow someone that you trust, like your own mom or dad, a community worker or a friend, that will help you make those decisions when it comes to medical decisions. But just remember, they are now 18 and they have rights. And so just know that you're going to be there, and let them know that it's okay. Make this decision, but we're going to have some communications, some conversations about how I can support you. So just remember that when you're guiding and letting go, because I know it's hard for a parent to let go, but you can, be in the background, and support them, any decision making that you feel that may not be something that may not be a good idea for them. You can kind of guide them, but of course they have their own rights to do whatever they feel that is necessary for them. Any questions so far about being when the children turn 18 as an adult in school? Because now as an adult, you're no longer able to say, like you used to be able to go and pick up his report card, or you need to get the records that he had for school. They will tell you that he is now an adult and he has to give you permission to go and pick up or anything that's related to school records or anything like that. He is now in control of all of that. So just remember that. And if you know that your child may not be able to do that, you want to be able to support him. Now, good decision making. We do have a class. It's going to be on good decision making, but it says life is a journey where each stage of life impacts the other, and different life experiences bring us closer to further or further away from our goals. So just remember in your stages of life that you're remembering to think about the future. What's going to be important for the future? Yes, they may be in kindergarten, they may be in middle school, and certainly in high school, you want to start really thinking about that. And anytime that it's okay, starting late is never late. It's never too late. And it's never too early. As I say, you can start infancy, you can start when they get in high school, but just know every opportunity and every experience they have with people in classrooms, on the work, some are in the workforce, any experience they have is either going to bring them closer to what a good life looks like, or it's going to make them further away from what is a good life. So just remember, every experience impacts their life stages. Okay, we're done. Does anyone have any questions?
Looks like people don't have any questions today.
Okay.
They haven't typed anything in the chat either. So no. Yes, go ahead.
So I'm going to say to you guys, as you work through this, just remember that Family to Family is here to support you guys. And if you have any questions after we get off the Zoom and you want to call us, if you want to look and see, I'm sorry. If you want to, we will be posting the chat that we just had today, and you can see it on YouTube, or or we can send you a link. We want you to be able to go back through the information that we've shared with you, and we'll be sharing more information with you on the next meeting that we have. We're going to really look at the profile, and we're going to start talking about and planning out what is a good life for you, what is financially, and then also just socially, and also if whatever plans that you have, or you working with the person with the disability they may have. And so, and it's good to organize. So we're going to look at that, and we're going to start the profile this time, but we will certainly share any information that you ask about. So if you have any questions, any concern, it's okay.
Yes, they're asking in the chat if we will be sending the slides. Of course we can, right?
Yes, we can send them to them. Yes, we will.
We will. We have
Yes,
your email. We'll be sending the video of this class and also all the forms that Ingrid has been discussing since class 1.
Mhm.
These forms are tools that you can all do within your family to plan out for the future. So we'll be sending those two in the same email.
So, and then too, some of the ones that you either wanted emailed to you, or and if you want it mailed to you, make sure that we have your address. And
Mhm.
if you've moved since the last time we've put your information in, go ahead and send us your new address, and we can put that in your case, so we'll know to be able to send it to the right address. And two, also, if you don't receive it, please give us a call, send us an email, say I haven't received it. But I also want to remind you guys that we have monthly classes, and the next one we have, I'm so happy to have our presenter, Mary Jane Williams from Family to Family Network. She's awesome, and she has a wealth of knowledge. It's not any question I haven't asked her that she doesn't know.
Exactly.
So,
And it'll be, and she'll be presenting about Medicaid waivers. And it's always something that we want to hear and hear and hear, because there's always something new to learn.
it's always something
It's
new.
October 14, and you can find it on our website calendar, so you can register for it.
Okay, so if there's not any more questions, just remember, we thank you so much for being here for this small group, and that anybody wants to set up a new group and we can come to where you are. If it's in your neighborhood, we'll come and visit you, and if you have a group. So don't forget, if you have a friend, let them know about the small group and tell them that we also offer it in person. And we can set up a community center. Just let me know where you would like to attend those classes, and we will come to you. But, you know, because of COVID, it's always, the option is virtual to keep everybody safe. Okay, so we thank you so much again. And again, my name is Inger. I'm the program coordinator. We have Christina, who's the assistant coordinator for this project. And we thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next small group.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, I knew it was coming. Yes. Oh yeah, just let me stop it.